Good evening, YouTube. Good evening. Thought I'd get started a little bit early tonight. I have some adjustments I want to do here to my little setup. So I thought I'd do a little experimenting here on YouTube while I do that. Here we go. All right, first thing I want to check out here is some of my lighting. So let's see what we got here. It's a little harsh. How do I adjust? Let's see. I think I can also turn this up and down. Let me go look. There we go. That's a little bit of a softer hue. It's not very pleasant on my eyes, though, I gotta say. If we go like this, turn that down just a little bit more, and then like this, make it a little bit yellower. Can't really see how that looks. What I dislike about it, I think, is that I can't really. I think what I dislike about it is that it's in my eyes. It's soft, but it's in my face. I like to trade in the zone. It's hard to be in the zone like this, isn't it? All right, so there's that. And then let's see how it looks with even more light. Okay. Don't love that. What I really like is this. Turn that off, actually. Come on. Like that. Versus that. Now I can see how that works better. I can see how that's a better look. But still, I don't love the light in my eyes. I can live with it, but I don't love it. Let's see. No. All right, how does this look? That might be as good as it gets. All right. Can we trade in the zone like this? Question. We probably can. All right, let's see what else we have here. Need to log into the broker. Need to get my account set up now. So that's going to take me a minute. right. $93, $94, $95, $96. All right, just getting my account set up here. I realize this is boring, but we're watching the charts. We're hanging out together. Feel free to type something in the chat. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a lot happening on the charts right now, so we're just hanging out. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're just hanging out watching the charts here for a little bit. I started the stream a little bit early. So, not a whole lot going on right now. We're just kind of watching price. I don't really usually get started here until about 7:45. It takes a while for the market to get going in these Asia sessions, but if you're hanging out, want to ask any questions or chat about anything, type it in the chat. And while you're here, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, be a mensch. All right, here we go. Two, three. Okay. I think we're all set to go here. So let's take a quick look at the charts as long as we're all hanging out. This is our 1 minute chart. And what I did here at the beginning of this session, which started, right here at this vertical gray line, was 6 p.m. New York time, Eastern time in the United States, and coming into this session, this was our end of day consolidation right here. And so I drew a box around that so we would know, you know, this the white line here on top, the white line here on the bottom. If I zoom out into like a 30-minute chart, you'll see that that's just a little rectangle there. Let me put that in a 5-minute chart like that. So as soon as the market opened, we came right to that box and we came back down into it to retest there on the high, came back out of it, and now we're right back down in the middle of it. So, you know, this range right here, it is about a, let's see, 49 to 46. That's about a 3 pip range, about a $3 range. Just kind of like to see price doing something different than it was doing at the end of day consolidation. So I think, you know, before I want to take any trades, I'd like to see price come down out of this box or sustained up out of this box. And right now that's not what we're seeing. So again, here the 5-minute chart. And what do we have? With the dollar, here on the bottom we have the 1-minute chart. And on the top here we have the 30-minute chart for the DXY. See, that's been falling here in this session, just kind of gently coming down over here. And yields have been sideways in this session, essentially. Nothing going on. So if I go back to this 5-minute chart, just not to confuse you, let's get rid of everything. Now let's show only the drawings. So what we have here is our box that price in. And right above where price is right now, we have this pivot, which is the DM3, the daily midpoint 3. And then right below that, we have the previous day value area high. So the 1 is a pivot, DM3 is a pivot. The value area high has to do with the volume that was traded in the previous market, so before 5 p.m. East Coast time. We expect price, when it hits either one of these, to have some sort of reaction. So if price comes down into this value area high, we would expect price to kind of evaluate its life choices and either then continue down or off of it and come back up. You can ignore this horizontal line here that says pancakes. That is just a reminder for me about a pending hedge that I have on my spot gold account. Completely forget about it. And then down here we have the previous day point of control. And below that we have the daily pivot point. So right now we're getting that, you know, summer Wednesday night open in New York, Thursday morning open in Asia. Really, Sydney is the only market trading right now at 8 p.m. New York time. Tokyo comes online, and we see some more volume come into the market, and that's where we might see something worth trading. I'm going to put the indicators back on. This is going to start looking a little complicated, but I'll tell you the things you have to look for, you have to pay attention to. The first one is this upward channel here with the dotted yellow line on either side and the solid yellow line running down the middle. That is our linear regression channel. We are paying attention to that because that is showing that we are currently in an uptrend. That can be different on every time frame. If I go to the 1-minute chart, we're also in a slight uptrend. But if we were looking at it on just like right here, this is a downtrend obviously, but it's within the broader uptrend. All right, after that, the things you want to look at are this red brick up here, this long rectangle. That is a bear volume zone. An indicator called swing ranges by Chart Prime. One of the things that indicator does is it puts these boxes, these green boxes and these red boxes over here on price. I don't even pay attention to those. I know what they do, just not really relevant to the way that I trade, but I can't get those to disappear and leave just this green rectangle down here and this red rectangle up here. These are the important ones. This is a bull volume down here. When price gets down here, it will react, likely bounce. This indicator is extremely accurate. I've never really seen price hit one of those and not react. Maybe once or twice, but it's almost infallible. And then the other things you want to pay attention to are these horizontal orange and red lines and the horizontal green lines. Those are support and resistance zones that I have an indicator that draws those automatically. Those end up being important for the way that we trade. And then you also want to look at this swing high, or sometimes you'll see swing low, and it will be in green. Those are also areas where price reacts. So over time, I've just kind of narrowed down the indicators to those being the ones I primarily use. You'll see some of the squiggly lines in here as well. These are moving averages. These three right here in a row are 32 period moving averages. And then we have, this one down here, which is a 200 period moving average. I kind of look at those, but I'm thinking of just taking them off the charts for, at least the charts that I'm sharing with you, because they kind of make the chart look a little busy, and it's not supposed to look like Jackson Pollock got into trading. I try to keep it as minimalist as I can and still be showing me all of the information that I like to look at. So that's how we read the chart. Now that's a 5-minute chart. Here's the 1-minute chart. Same indicators, just a different time frame, lower time frame. You see more noise, but again, and I do all of the charting on spot gold, and I do my trading here, at least tonight, on gold futures. This is a 10-second chart. I do some precision scalping here, and you'll notice that the price, $33.90, different from the price on spot gold, $33.47, but these charts move in tandem. They move exactly the same. So this is actually the only futures chart that I have up on my whole system here. I've got 7 screens. Seven screens here, plus a little iPad down here with a 5-second spot gold chart. So really I've got 8 screens here, and this one that you're looking at right here and that I'm looking at with you is the only gold futures chart that I have up. Everything else is a spot gold chart, or as we flipped over here, the dollar and the yield, which move inversely to gold. And then I've got this one here, which is the VIX volatility index. We're down in the 15 zone here, so we shouldn't really be expecting a lot of volatility right now. There's not a lot impacting the market in terms of giving the market the jitters. So we do our charting on spot gold, price discovery, and my scalping that we'll do tonight will be done on gold futures. Over here on the screen that is right in front of me here, I have my broker account, so I can see what my broker is doing. I hit my buy and my sell button here, but you'll see my trades appear on the chart once we get those going. All right. I see I might be having some bandwidth issues. I hope that's not affecting the YouTube stream. It is definitely affecting the YouTube stream that I have up on the wall, so I can kind of monitor my stream. It is suffering a very big spin wheel of death right now. I can't see anything that it's doing. So in addition to these screens that I've shown you here, I also have my MetaTrader 4 with a couple of screens over here as part of the 7 that I mentioned. What did I say? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let me pull that up so I can show it to you at least. There we go. It's going to ask me for a password. Okay. Goodness, that is not what I'm looking at all. There we go. Okay. Let's get rid of this guy down here. Let's pull this in over here. And here. All right, so what we have right here, this chart that is moving, is the Renko chart. That is very important to our entries and exits. Next to that, we have the 1 minute chart, Heikin-Ashi 1 minute chart, Heikin-Ashi 5 minute, Heikin-Ashi 15 minute. Now, why you ask, do we look at these in addition to these trading view charts that I showed you? That's because we have some really important indicators here on MetaTrader. These support and resistance zones that you see here, there's resistance zones and support zones on each of these charts. Sometimes don't get painted on TradingView, and these indicators are also nearly gospel for us in the way we trade. So rather than drawing our own zones and marking up all of our charts, we've found indicators, mostly Tono has found indicators that are really special and really accurate, and elite traders use all the tools that we possibly can to ensure that our trading goes well. The goal is not to make it as difficult as possible for yourself. The goal is to make money. So in addition to these charts that you see here, we also look at these charts here on MetaTrader. Up here on top, I have a 15-minute regular Japanese candle chart, a 1 hour, a 4 hour, and a 1 day. So on this chart, our pivots get drawn automatically. I don't really use these charts to look at my pivots. I put all of those, I put those on my TradingView chart so we can see those. But I really do use these support and resistance zones here. And I look at this is the dollar against the yen. The yen is a stand-in for gold here on this chart. And then I like this FX trend display, which kind of gives me just further confirmation that we're in a strong downtrend or a strong uptrend right now, with just two sell signals and the rest of them buy signals. It's not really giving us a clear indication here of what's going on. You can learn how to get set up like we have it set up and get our indicators. It's all free. You can go to the BarcelonaTrader.com, sign up for the free course. The first few modules of that course are about getting set up, getting your MetaTrader set up, getting your TradingView set up, so that you can use the ones that we use. Maybe you're an experienced trader and you use your own indicators and you know what you're doing. So we don't offer any financial advice here. We just try to trade. All right. So I'm going to go back here for a minute to what I was doing. In the meantime, remember what I said there about the BarcelonaTrader.com. It's the flashing banner at the top of the screen. You can join our Zoom room and be on Zoom with us, and you can get on the waiting list for Gold GPT, our trading coach assistant, which is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It works with you as a coach. It guides you through everything from technical to fundamental to market sentiment analysis, and especially helps you with trading psychology, and it is your companion. And when you are messing up or blowing your account or in serious drawdown, you can take a picture of your screen. It will analyze it, give you suggestions on what to do as per our style of trading, and can really help you through some of those tough psychological moments where you just want to throw it all away and pursue a career in farming. I've been there. Okay, so hang out, enjoy the music, watch the chart. I'm going to just kind of finish setting up my system here and my trade journal, just make sure everything is updated. I think I'll probably put headphones on. I don't want to get too much bleed over into the sound. That might already be happening. All right, that's a little better. Okay. Okay, it does look like I've got everything set up. Now I should probably put the stream live on the website. I think I've got the previous stream up there, so that when people do go to the website and click live stream, and then they see the video, that the embedded video is the current live stream and not the previous live stream. There we go. There we go. You know, I was talking about just a moment ago about why we do our charting on spot gold, and we do price discovery and trading in this case on futures. The first blog post, it was just published today. If you go to the BarcelonaTrader.com homepage, scroll down until you start seeing the blog articles below the content that's on top, and on the left side, the first article is called "Why Chart Gold on Spot If Futures Drive the Market? Here's Why." And it explains it in good detail, easy to understand. If you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Type them in the chat, and I'll certainly answer them. Back here to the 1 minute chart, we see that we are still in what was the end of day consolidation, what I've now called Thursday's opening range. Tell me what you're trading, what instruments you like to look at. And here we are. And this is why we don't really get the stream started until 7:45, usually. And that is due to things not really happening in this market until 8 p.m. East Coast time. You know, that's when Tokyo comes online, but now even in the summer, it's slow. It's slow. I try to be online from about 7:45 until 9:15 or so about an hour and a half. But the last couple nights I have stuck around longer because I wasn't getting any movements. Then last night when I did stick around for longer, I got a couple of movements, but I got faked out twice. Took 2 losses. Said, good night. That's it. challenge sometimes is staying in the zone. You want to get into flow state. You want to get into a state where you are recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the awareness of your thoughts. And so when you're getting really bored and you feel like, maybe I just need to take a trade right now, you are aware of that thought, of that feeling, and you recognize it as just a thought and as a feeling. You don't have to act on it. You just observe it. Same with frustration and anger. If you're in a drawdown, or you've taken a few losses, you just have to be zen about it. You are the observer of those emotions, and you don't have to act on them. But if they're getting to be too much and you feel very tempted to act on them, then that's when you need to walk away. I kind of have a rule that if I take 3 losses in a session, I'm done. I'm done. The reason I have that rule is because when I take 3 losses, it starts getting to me. Now, there have been days where I've taken 3 losses and I've been okay about it, and I can recognize that and say, okay, I think I can keep trading. But you have to learn to know yourself, and it takes a while, and so you're always best off just taking those losses, taking the time off. All right, so now is about the time I start the Zoom call and see if Tono, my trading partner and mentor, wants to join. So I give him something to join, which is our Zoom call. You can join our Zoom room too. All right, there. And for some reason, my broker disconnected, but now we're connected again. Okay. Not sure which display is which here. There we go. right, looks like we are moving out of this zone. Let's see where we are. No, we're still inside this zone. Coming up here on the value area low, just right there at the bottom of this channel, the bottom of this zone that I put price in a box. Nobody puts price in a box. Nobody puts a baby in a corner. Hungry. I am hungry. All right, I'm going to run to the kitchen for a minute and grab a snack or something. I thought I brought some snacks in here. All right, I'll be right back. I don't think anything's going to happen in the next 2 minutes, so I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And I brought crackers. Cashews. All right, this is where it gets exciting. It is 7:46. We are waiting for that 8 p.m. candle. Okay. Okay. Trying to get through the boring, right?
This is so boring.
You gotta have fun sometimes. You gotta have fun. Price is still in the box. All right, we have about 3 minutes and 20 seconds for that 8 o'clock candle. That is when we expect a little more volume to come into the market. Now, it is the dog days of summer, so even when that does happen, it could just not give us much. Last night, the market was so flat, and it only ended up baking me out twice. I took 2 losses before I just decided to call it a night. But tonight, we're either going to see more of the same, or maybe no trades at all. Or maybe I'll win a trade too. All right, I have it here on the 1 minute chart, just so we're all kind of looking at the same thing together. I have the 1 minute chart in a screen above me right here where I kind of glance back and forth, and usually I have this screen that you're looking at over here on this 10-second chart. This is where I trade, and when I enter a trade, you will see it enter on this screen. You will see my stop loss, where it positions, and you will be able to follow the trade in real time. And then depending on the outcome, I'll update the stats panel over here on the left of your screen. Right down here. All right, we have 1 minute, 1 minute for the hourly candle. On this Wednesday, August 20th. Let's see if we can finally get out of this range. Maybe we're coming down. Kind of looking that way. It's kind of looking that way right now. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 8 p.m. There we go. A little volume coming in. Now, is it just going to fake us out? What's going on here? Is it going to come down in earnest? We don't have much of a strength differential here between over here on the FX Blue panel to your right, where you see my cursor. We don't have much of a difference here between the dollar and gold. If I jiggle that around, my cursor gets big. There it is, that arrow. The dollar and gold right here is nearly the same strength. When one is stronger than the other, it gives us a better indication of which direction we're heading or how strong the trend is in any direction. And right now, there is no strength in it at all. Not comfortable placing a trade right now. Too risky. Simply not enough indicators are lining up. If I look over here, I see the yen is pointing straight up. The yen is a stand-in for gold here. Often they move in tandem. Right now they don't appear to be moving in tandem, so that's not a good sign. This is telling us that we have, you know, a little bit of a downtrend going on here, but it's not very strong. All of these are not in downtrend. We kind of see the last four candles here on the 15-minute chart. We've had a doji, a down candle, but not that strong of a down candle, another doji, and now just barely starting to move down again. So not a lot going on here. We click over and we look at the Renko. The Renko is pointing down. That's a good sign for a downward trade that we might want to take. We're getting through some support zones here. Going to come up on some more here, but if it starts moving through these like butter, then, you know, maybe there's something to do. Looking back at the 1-minute chart, we see that we are below the zone now. But here on the 10-second chart, we've hit a little support and we're coming back up. That's not what you want to see if we were decisively in a downtrend. Okay. Might have been something to trade there, but again, just not decisive enough. Now it's kind of looking like, you know, yesterday we moved, let's go back over here to the 5-minute chart, and let's put that on a 15-minute chart. So we're going to look at all of the market. So you know we had been in a downtrend. Let's go to a 1 hour chart. All right. So vertical line here is a day. So you can kind of see all the way from the Monday of last week, not this week, Monday of last week, we started this downtrend. Came Tuesday, consolidated, kind of came up on Wednesday, but then resumed the downtrend on Thursday, and then resumed it again on Friday. Then this past Monday, basically, we did a little dip up, or a little spike up to the top here, but basically finished the day where we started it. And came up and continued the downtrend here on Tuesday. And it was only here on Wednesday that this uptrend began. Came back up here, kind of corrected maybe some oversold conditions down here, corrected, and now we're here. Now, if we put the trend lines back in, we see these blue lines here. We see that we're still in a downtrend, and price came up here to the top of the channel, where it had been, before at the top of that channel, and now it looks like it might be toppling over to come back down again to the bottom of this channel, and it might create a lower low here on the 1 hour chart. We don't know that that's what's happening, but that very well could be what's happening. We don't have any fundamentals driving the market right now. So you see, we came up here, came back over. This is a 10-second chart, so it moves much quicker. And what I'm looking at here is I have a support zone here on the 1 minute and on the 5 minute. So even though I don't see that, I guess I do see it here with this swing low here on the 1 minute chart, but I don't see that on the 10-second chart. So I have to be watching the other time frames, because even though right here it looks like we have clean trading all the way down, we don't. We're actually hitting the support zone. Looks more interesting on that 10-second chart than it does here on the 1 minute. This was a nice run down here. Too early in the session for me to really feel confident about getting involved in that. And now we're at this swing low and also at this support zone right here. And you can see it also on the 5-minute Hakanashi right over here, right here. So just going to kind of wait and see what happens at this point. Yeah, we're coming right down into that swing low. So again, I'm not going to trade this. No matter how smooth the movement is, and it can be very smooth, but I can't trust it because of these support zones. So I got to let it go. There was a time when I thought I needed to be in a trade all the time, every moment. And that if I were a really good trader, I would be able to know what's going to happen next, every little wiggle. And to just stay out of it when it was too consolidated. But when it was moving and trending in any direction, you know, I would be able to anticipate that and trade it. That is not how trading works. Most of the time, the chart is consolidating like this. And it's only sometimes when it's not consolidating that you have a probabilistic idea of what's going to happen next. And that's when you can take your trades. And you can do everything right, and the trade won't work out. Sometimes. And figuring out that you've done everything right and the trade still didn't work out is one of the hardest things. All right, so we reacted off of this swing low, or, you know, you could say we reacted off of this support level here. And we went up. All right, so someone's asking why it reacted. Well, it reacted, we don't know for sure. It could, you never know for sure what happened in the market because there are so many participants and they all have different motivations, and unless they tell you, you don't really know. But most likely what happened was either people who had previously gone long had their stop losses set down here. So when price reached this point, it triggered those stop losses. or there were passive buyers down here who wanted to buy when price got to this point. They thought that that was a level they could get gold at a cheaper price than it has been for the last however long it's been up there. And so when price got down here, it triggered a bunch of buy orders. Or it could also be people who were in the sell. It got down here, they saw it start to stall out, or they saw this swing low on their own charts, and they said this is a good time to get out. So they got out, which is, when you're in a sell and you get out, you're actually placing a buy order. So as they all get out, the price begins to go up due to those buy orders, profit taking. So price gets up here, people are done taking their profit, and price turns around and resumes what it was doing in the first place. All right, let's see if gold is going to be able to come through this area here and perhaps give us a couple trades down here below. Looks like it's trying. know we don't want to get stopped. We don't want to get stopped out. And I think that, you know, one of the things that I have done recently is I'll get bored here during this Asia session. I'll start seeing some interesting movement compared to what I've been seeing before, and I'll get enticed into a trade. At least this is what happened to me last night, that went against me, and that was not that wasn't fun at all. I am going to end the Zoom stream. I don't have anyone joining me tonight, so I'm going to end that. That doesn't mean anything for here on YouTube. We're going to keep that stream going. So let's do that. Free up some bandwidth. Okay. That was an interesting move. A little too herky-jerky for me. Okay, we triggered our hedge. That has to do with my spot gold trading. But what that means is I need to make that line a solid line because the hedge has been triggered. And now price is above that. So we want to see price come down here again, probably hit this bull volume here and do a little bounce again, but we do appear to be in a downtrend, at least for this session. So we do expect it to continue down through here. Once it gets below this bull volume, I think there might be a trade for me in there. I'm going to continue watching it over here on the 10-second chart. See, I'm waiting for it to get below here, but I'm also waiting for it to get below here. It's already in the clear here. We're in the clear here for a little bit. Okay, we're getting there. Take a little reaction off of that bull volume. I'd like to see a little bit bigger reaction. That's more like what I expected off of that bull volume right there. Now it can kind of curve back around and come down. Okay, we have 1 minute for the 8:30 candle. Maybe this will give us the push down that we'd like to see. Thirty seconds. Four, three, two, one. What's it going to try to do? Wants to come down. Doesn't have the ambition. Doesn't have the energy. Nobody is forcing us to take a trade, so we don't like the way it's setting up. It is what it is. And that's what the definition of is. This is a summer Wednesday night. Hmm. Oh, I'm feeling this kind of way again, you know what I mean? What way? This way.
This is so boring.
You know what I mean? Well, it can't go down, so it's deciding that maybe it should come up. Just doesn't have the volume to push through this swing low and this resistance zone that we were looking at here on the this resistance zone, or support zone, excuse me. Support zone here. I guess it has kind of pushed through this one here on the 5-minute. We need to get below this bear volume, this bull volume that's right here. If we make this larger. It says bull volume there. We need to come down through this area. Over here on FX trend, we see that we don't have a lot of strength differential between the dollar and gold over here on the right side of the screen. Dollar is at positive 2.2 and gold is at negative 1.4. That's a differential that says we're at a downtrend, but it's not a big strength differential. All right, we're heading back up. Wouldn't you know it, trigger my hedge and then head back up. That's not what I wanted. I wanted price to stay below my hedge here. But c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Overall, we might be in a downtrend. Tomorrow we have unemployment claims at 8:30. We have the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. We have Flash Manufacturing PMI and Flash Services PMI at 9:45, those last two. And at 10 o'clock, we have existing home sales, which is a orange folder, which means moderate news impact for gold. Well, these are all impact for the dollar, but since gold is priced in the dollar, it impacts the price of gold. So this rarely happens, that we just get no trades in a session, but it does happen, and when it does happen, it's usually in an Asia session. The slowest session of the three. If you'd like to learn the difference between the Asia session and the London session and the New York session, there's a great post on the blog at the Barcelona Trader. Let me pull it over here. Oops, can't pull it over because I'm not on the right screen. Here we go. Best time to trade gold, a session-by-session primer on Asia, London, and New York. I won't go through it all here, but you can find this article at thebarcelonatrader.com, and it goes through the kind of pros and cons and individual characteristics of each one of the sessions. So again, you can go to thebarcelonatrader.com. You go to the home page, which is where you land, and you can go from the home page. You would scroll down to the beginning. Why is this taking so long to load? My goodness. All right, there we go. You scroll down to where the blog begins. Right above the blog is a search, and we just type in sessions or session, and it's the first blog post that comes up. Then comes up one about the Zoom room and some other one where the word sessions come in, but a session-by-session primer on Asia, London, and New York. You'll find it right there. Okay. Starting to show a little more ambition on the way down. Question is, are we in the zone? Okay, I'm gonna go. I am in a trade. I don't know why it's not showing up here. It's not going to give us very much, it doesn't look like. I let that come back on me. I'm not happy about that. Still seems to want to go down. No. I don't have a lot of room for it to let it come back on me, so let's keep going down. I should have taken the profit, whatever little profit it was going to give me. This is feeling a bit invalidated to me. All right, I think I'm going to get out. Come on now. And we're stopped out. I'm tired of that happening. All right, we've got 1 minute for that 9 o'clock candle. There it is. Okay, I'm going to call it. That is it for me. I am not taking another loss tonight. Okay, so that is 2 trades, 2 losses. Same thing has happened to me last night. Another tactical retreat. What happens when the market is doing this kind of stuff to you? But we're not going to sit here and get upset about it. We're just going to come back and start fresh in the morning. That is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And tonight, that is the way it crumbled. Okay, now I do believe we're going. I'm back down. This is what I get for revenge trading. Here we go. Plow right through there. Come on. It wants to come down, but it's finding some support. I see that support on the 15-minute, don't I? Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of room to come down, so I'm just going to get out with whatever little profit it's going to give me here. Might even take a small loss if it isn't going to give me anything. Yeah, it's not going to give it to me. There it goes. I'll just take the 60 bucks. At least we ended the night with a win, right? Now what's going on here? $287. Ah, look at that. All of that happened on one account, not on the other accounts. So that is actually a good thing. Took a couple of losses and a win that made up for half of one of my losses. But again, my trade copier was not quite set up right. And so we took that on only one account, which is great. Sometimes a little technical glitch is all you need. Okay, so we will be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 for the. Hang on, let me update my stats there so I'm not being disingenuous about things. All right. We will be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 for the New York session. We will be doing a fresh analysis right as we get started at 7:30, maybe a couple minutes before. But if you ever come to the stream late and you want to see the analysis that we've done, you can do that by just rewinding the stream to the beginning and starting there. And I'm on the analysis. I take all the indicators off the screen. I just show you the drawings, the levels, and then we add the indicators, and I explain how the indicators work and what we're looking for. You can go to the BarcelonaTrader.com, get the free course. You can in our Zoom room if you'd like to be on stream with us. And tomorrow morning, I believe Tono will be here. So he'll be calling out the spot gold trades. I'll be calling out the futures trades. Not financial advice, but you can trade with us if you'd like to. And I think that's it for tonight. So thanks for showing up and being part of our little but slowly growing audience. We're just getting started. In fact, we're not even really started yet until September. But thanks for joining us, and I will see you tomorrow morning, 7:30 until 10:30 or so, because we've got news at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So I will see you then. Have a good night.